Consecrate me now to thy service, Lord, by thy power of grace divine. Let my soul look up with a steadfast hope. This is my prayer. Make me and mold me, fill me and use me. This is my prayer. Depths of love I may never know, till I cross that distant shore. There are heights of joy I may never reach. Oh, yeah. Make me and mold me, fill me and use me. My prayer.
Greetings, and blessings on this wonderful evening. God bless all of you. Thank you for sharing, joining us. Those of you that are going to be coming in, listen, come on in, spread the word. We've got some information to share. This is the first time I've ever did this. Is I had to name this something, so it's the Spotlight on Music recap. We're going to review some of Detroit's activity, gospel music activity this past weekend. What a phenomenal weekend we've had in the city of Detroit, and I'm so excited. Listen, we're going to jump right in because I got a lot to talk about. Two great people coming. Got Maestro Dr. Denard McClary on with me, and later Dr. LaQuint Weaver will be sharing with us. But listen, um, I want you to like and share, spread the word, let everybody know that we're on, and join us in the comment section. Wave at us, let us know you're there, and we certainly going to engage you in this recap, this review of some phenomenal programming that took place this past weekend. I'm telling you, the history books must reflect all that I personally witnessed this weekend that was really awesome. And we're going to talk about it. Dr. McClary, man, good to see you.
Good to be with you, Bishop. Thanks
Yes,
for having me
sir.
back again. And you couldn't have said it better. It was just a an amazing, awesome time this weekend, this conference, and what took place was truly history making here in the city.
Yeah, man, the GIA Publications Incorporated present Earth and Heaven Sings. And I'm telling
Yeah.
you, it was like heaven on earth
Oh yes, it
in
was.
that room at St. Philip's Lutheran Church, featuring Dr. James Abington, hosted by the Great Detroit Churches United.
Oh
And
yeah.
uh, Denard, listen, man, tell us how all of this came about, man. Y'all did such an awesome job. You as the general chairperson, and I got that list here of your capable staff. Man, this staff, this
Oh
list
yeah.
of people is impressive. Talk about how you pulled all these people together and your general committee as well.
Well, thank you, Bishop. Uh, this was truly, you know how it is. Some things when you put it together, it's a labor of love, and this is one of those things that was truly a labor of love. Um, back about a year, about 8 months ago, we had a very dear friend of ours, Dr. Abington, and myself, who was a mutual friend of ours, who was a well-known business uh, titan, I call it, in the African American community, well known in the religious world as well. Um, Bill Leicester Allen, who built an empire, not only here in Detroit with the schools, but went to Atlanta and I mean just blew up and did a lot of tremendous things uh, entrepreneurial wise and opened an entrepreneurial school and had a retreat and campus there. Him and Bill Picard were very good friends, and everybody knows that Bill Picard uh, was a major entrepreneur. Well, these two men came together, Bill Picard and Bill Allen. And uh, as far as the business community, did some phenomenal things. As you know, back a few years ago, Bill Picard had a Thank You Detroit. I think it was held at Orchestra Hall to say thank you, a big weekend to say thank you to Detroit for helping him become the business mogul and success he was. And you were a part of that and so many others. Um, Bill Allen was equally, um, by far, an equal business person as well, multimillionaire. And it's somebody that you wouldn't even think of because he was a very humble person. as to what he had. But he and Bill Carr were very good friends. And ironically, they passed within weeks of a few days apart of each other, a little under a year. Well, Bill Allen was a very good friend of mine, as well as Dr. Abington. And we were having a conversation, just dealing with that, trying to process that, because this was a loss of two great individuals. Bill Card meant much to Dr. Abington as well as Bill Allen. And Bill Allen meant much to me and many others here in the city of Detroit. I had the privilege of being his assistant minister of music for several years at the Leland Baptist Church when Pastor Rhodes, Eugene Rhodes, was the pastor. So that's how I began to build a relationship with Bill Allen. And upon his passing, Jimmy and I were just talking, and GIA came up. And he was telling us all what he was doing with GIA and what have you. Hadn't been to Detroit in quite some time. So the conversation went forward from there. And after that, I began to have conversations with people here in the city of Detroit, of the churches, of the pastors, about seeing what we could do to make this happen in the Detroit area. And so as I began to talk with these people who I had relationships with, these several pastors, got them all together in a meeting and explained what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it. Believe it or not, they were hungry for this. They were looking for something like this. So they all came aboard, and we began to give everybody different functions and different roles to play in this as to help it come to take shape and come to reality. So it started from that conversation over the passing of our mutual friend, Brother Allen, Bill Allen, and Bill Picard, and started from there. And then, like I said, having the conversation, bringing these ministers to the table to see what we could do to make this happen. And they all came together and were on one accord. And when we looked around the table, we said, now listen, we have everybody in this room looks like us. We need some diversity. We needed to reach out, and we wanted this to be truly an ecumenical function, and not just some of the same. Because I said if we wanted it to be the same, we could just stay in our own churches and have the same, but we wanted this to be truly ecumenical and fully inclusive. So we began to reach out to other churches in the suburban areas and in the outer fringes. And believe it or not, we had great success with those persons just by having conversations. They would have me come in and talk to their people in their rehearsals to get buy-in. I began to talk to them about the conference and what it would entail. And people, I mean, in the suburban areas where you think that they would be reluctant, they were all in. They were just waiting for somebody to invite them to come to the urban area and be a part of this. Because as the old saying goes, the most segregated hour in America is Sunday morning. So we broke that mold by, the scripture would say, in order to have friends, you have to show yourself friendly. So we went out to their churches, went out to their rehearsals, and I told them, all you got to give me is 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes to talk to your people. And they were gracious to do that. And 5 minutes turned into 10 and 15. And before you know it, we were there for the whole rehearsals. But they were wonderful relationships. So that helped bring about what you saw on Saturday.
Man, I was overwhelmed. When I drove up there, I called myself coming a little early, give myself about 45 minutes or a half hour early. And on East Grand Boulevard, we had to stand in line
Oh yeah.
to get
It
into
was,
the parking lot.
yes,
And
sir.
after getting there, it took me 20 minutes to get in.
So,
And then after getting inside the church, there was a line,
oh yes, yes, sir.
walk-in registrations,
Yes,
and
sir.
it was
Somebody,
it was phenomenal, and you all ought to be commended for the work. And
somebody, somebody was teasing me. They said for a minute, they said, "Now we at church. We down here at Little Caesar's Arena."
yeah, man, it was
Yeah,
absolutely phenomenal. But man, I looked at this list. Your executive committee, Reverend Myra Tyler, uh,
yeah,
Romel Travis, logistics,
yeah, yeah.
and our sister, Reverend Dr. Kimberly
Oh
Whitsett,
yeah,
and
yes, yes,
Dr. Reverend Deborah Holt Foster, and
yes,
the Reverend Roosevelt Gray Jr., Reverend Dr. Alfred Richard Dawes,
yes,
Father Anthony Edis, and Pastor Jeffrey Baker, Pastor
yes,
Eric E. Tucker,
yes,
Pastor Richard R. White III,
yes,
Elder
indeed.
Ronald Alexander,
Yes, sir.
Reverend Jerry Hatter,
Yes,
man,
indeed.
and then one of the sweetest ladies I know, man. I was so happy to see Dr. Ingrid Draper.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
music
man.
coordinator there at St. Philip's. Yes.
Yeah, man. Go back. I remember her from years and years back. Virginia Stiller and Victor Boyd,
Yes.
Jackie Reese, the one and only Gregory Everhart, Professor
Oh, yeah.
Gregory
Yes, indeed.
Everhart,
I
Gwendolyn
love
Anderson, and
it. Yes.
Tamika Tucker, Ernest Sanders,
Yes.
security, and then myself and Brooksy
Oh,
Frenchman. Man, it was so good to see Brooksy Frenchman, and we got to talk about her just for a minute.
oh,
I
yes.
think what you said, she's the longest living
Yes.
standard minister music
Active
for
minister of music.
60,
Correct.
what, 64
Six,
years, she said?
yeah, I think she said 62 or
62
62.
years at
Yes.
Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. God bless
150.
you tonight, Brooksy Frenchman, for your
Yes.
labor and your work.
Indeed.
Yeah, man, this was awesome. Of course,
Yeah.
our facilitator, Dr. Jimmy Abington,
Yeah.
was
And
phenomenal,
Bishop,
man.
if I could say one thing about the committee, all those names that you just read off, those were pastors of different denominations. There were about 4 to 5 different denominations there that you read off. We had AME,
Yeah,
African Methodist Episcopal. We had CME, church, the church. We had United Methodist. We had Baptist, uh, uh, represented by Richard White. Of course, he's the president of the Council of Baptist Pastors. I've been knowing him since and also pastor at Dexter Avenue. Been knowing him since he was a teenager. So proud of him. We had Presbyterian,
yeah,
Father Estes from St. Joseph, St. Matthew, St. Joe's on Woodward, and also All Saints Church on 7 Mile and Livernois, Episcopal Church. This brother came out of the Pentecostal church into the Episcopal Church. So go figure that. But
yeah,
and then we then we had the one and only, we call him Bishop Ronald Alexander, Elder Ronald Alexander, no stranger to none of us from Kojic. So we had Pentecostal, we had truly it was a diverse. Then we had not only African American, but we had Caucasian ministers there as well. So truly ecumenical and truly multicultural. So just an amazing array. And only God could have done this.
yeah, yeah. Well, man, I was impressed with the panel discussion, the importance of balanced
Yeah,
worship
yeah,
in post-pandemic church, and
yeah.
we got to say blessings to the moderator, Reverend Georgia Hill Esquire.
Oh
She
yeah.
did a phenomenal job, and
Yes, you did.
this impressive panel, Reverend Dr. Roosevelt Gray Jr.,
Yeah.
St.
Host
Philip's
Pastor.
Evangelical Lutheran
Yeah.
Church, who was the host pastor,
Yeah.
and then Reverend Dr. Nathan Johnson,
Oh
pastor
yeah.
Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church. Reverend
Yes.
Adam
Group.
Grosh,
Yeah.
pastor Lakeshore Presbyterian Church.
Out
Y'all
in
get
Grove
that now?
Point.
Y'all hear that? Lakeshore Presbyterian Church.
Out in the
Father
point.
Anthony Estes, yeah.
Yeah.
St. Matthew's and St. Joseph's Episcopal. Listen, man, when you talk about diversity, when you talk
Yeah.
about ecumenical gathering, here was the perfect time to
Yeah.
see it live, and I'm glad I was there to witness it. And that time that they spent uh, sharing and answering, oh, it was awesome, man.
Oh yes.
Yes,
Yes, it was.
sir.
And three of the out of the four panelists have a strong music background. Of course, we know about Dr. Johnson's strong music background, a phenomenal singer.
Yeah,
And he can sit down and he can handle this. He knows his way around on the keyboard as well, Dr. Johnson.
yeah.
Um, and then Father Estes, strong music
Hmm.
background. And then Dr. Roosevelt Gray, and while he was back in college, when he met his wife, he used to play the tuba for the marching band. So, so
Oh,
we had people who had an understanding of music. So not only are they very fine pastors and they're theologians in their own right, but they're musicians.
yeah,
So that really added to uh, the depth and the breadth of what was going on to the discussion because they were, you know, because they are musicians. They were musicians first before they went into the preach
right.
ministry.
We know what impressed me, man, is there was no age barrier. They were young, they were old.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you for
yeah,
bringing that point up.
yeah, they were in there, they together.
Yeah.
The other thing that impressed me was uh, over in that audience that was there, there were singers,
Yes,
musicians,
yes,
ministers of music, and
yes.
some of them brought more than 10 people
Oh,
from
yes, they
their
did.
choirs. A lot of
Yes, they did.
them had some of their choir members with them
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
to get the experience along with their pastors
Oh, yes,
and ministers of music,
yes,
and that's what was impressive to me.
yes,
And then I believe I heard Pastor Father Estes talk about the importance of musicians becoming uh, biblically sound and theologians
yes,
going to
yes.
school. They ought to have some Bible.
That's right.
Well, you know, 'cause that's how we grew up, man. My grandfather, yeah, you know, listen, if you're gonna play at the church, you're gonna be at the church, and I'm gonna trust you to take over the choir. You need to be at Bible class.
Absolutely,
I need you saying what I'm saying. I don't need you
absolutely.
in there making up nothing. I need you to be my echo, not my voice. Echo what I say. Don't even come
Amen.
up with your own stuff.
Amen.
I mean,
A-
and man, when I heard that panel and how absolute they were, how firm they were, and they were biblically sound, and they gave us a lot. You know, I said, Lord, they need. I know they couldn't stream it, but I said, I hope they recorded this
Yeah.
somewhere so we can
Yes,
go
sir.
back and get those nuggets. It was awesome.
Yeah,
It
they
was,
had it in head and heart.
yeah,
All of the panels. Yeah, that was, and to go back to reiterate a point that you brought out. I mean, this was, I mean, as far as age wise, we had everything there. I mean, this was cross generational.
yeah,
I thought at first that it's just going to be um, a lot of older folk, people that look like us then, and they were, but they were just, I mean, the
yeah,
Gen Xers and the group under the Gen Xers. I mean, people from uh, um, 18 years of age on
yeah,
up into their 30s. I was really, and they were hungry for this, and they stayed to the end.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and you could tell when a crowd is into what's going on, because usually when you take a break and you come back after the break, you know what happens, Bishop. You may have uh, 100 people before the break, and then when you come back after the
Yeah.
break, you got about 60, maybe 50, 45. But we had as many people, and they kept coming. People kept
Yeah.
coming. I
That's
know,
what
and
impressed me. It
yeah,
kept
that's what
coming.
impressed me. And and Detroit, if you weren't there, those of you that weren't there, um, Bishop was on the organ as only the bishop could be. I mean, the standard for the staple for the Detroit sound. Uh,
Yeah.
Bishop Woods was on the organ, and I mean, as only Detroit could do it, and in the fashion in which he does it, at that high level and high standard. So, Dr. Abington said we broke records. I
Yeah.
mean, this says this was the largest one these had in all the country. He said that New York, Philly, and all of them are going to be envious now. California, because
No.
they got to come up the way Detroit. But see, nobody does it like Detroit.
Yeah. And when Dr. Abington was introduced, I mean, he even I thought he was getting ready to go to tears, man. He said, "This
Nope.
is overwhelming. Detroit being Detroit, as only Detroit is."
Oh
And
yeah,
his presentation, what I love about how he handled this session, he introduced the music that he
yes,
wanted to introduce, the original pieces, and hold up that hymnal. See, everybody in the
yeah,
registration was only $25, and you got
yeah,
the brand new hymnal. In
yes.
this hymnal, some of our people are in there.
Oh
Hallelujah.
yeah,
Reverend Charles Nix, he's so
yeah,
real. Jimmy
yeah,
Dow, I
yeah,
really love the Lord, and
yeah,
man, it's so much in that hymnal. Oh, give
yeah,
thanks. And man,
yeah.
I got excited when everybody turned. He said, "Get your hymnals." Everybody in there had a hymnal.
Yes, indeed.
They
And
opened
went
up the
home with the hymn.
went home with the hymnal. It was included, you know, in your
Mm,
registration
yeah,
along with we'll say that for a minute. The seven original pieces that
yeah,
was introduced in the music pack. Now
yeah.
it was worth $25 just to hear Jimmy Abington talk alone,
Oh my
you
Lord.
know, and to give his expertise. Dr. LaQuint Weaver, he joined us. Oh man,
Right.
we're gonna talk with
Yes,
him in a
sir.
minute. But listen, give us the. Oh, we got to acknowledge the fact that Dr. Brandon Waddles uh,
Yes. Yeah.
was
Yeah.
there, who was partly responsible for the one Lord,
Yeah.
one faith, one baptism hymnal, and
Yeah.
the music pieces, some of the music that was presented.
Yeah.
We want to give a shout out. Go ahead and tell her who Detroit and got them sheet music. I'm holding it in my hand too.
Yeah. So not only did they walk away with the hymnal, the new revised version of the One Lord, One Faith, um, and One Baptism hymnal, they walked away with that, but then they walked away with several pieces of what they call the octavos, but sheet music. And as you mentioned, our own Brandon Waddles, who is just a rising star in music, who works with GIA as well, he transcribed a lot of the music that a lot of people love gospel music, but that are in the technical side of music or the academic side of music, but they can't play it by ear. So Brandon, he transcribed the music, so therefore now there's no longer a barrier for people who cannot play by ear, but people who only read by note and who are
Yeah,
academically trained. Now they can enjoy and teach and play the music. Rudy Stanfield's uh, Perfect Peace. Believe that now. Rudy Stanfield's Perfect Peace. Brandon
yeah,
Waddles did a wonderful job transcribing that, not only then you have the accompaniment part for the musicians to play, but you have the SATB parts, sopranos, alto, tenors, and bass
Yeah.
parts on here as well for you to teach your choirs. So, and I mean, it is wonderfully put together. It's not put together in a remedial way. It's put together in a very professional way and true to the arrangement of the composer, Rudy Stanfield.
Yeah.
Also, we
Now
walked away with,
let me jump in there. What I loved about what Brandon and the committee did, even with Rudy, and then the one you're getting ready to introduce, within the sheet pages, there is a note about the composer
yes,
and some
yes,
information that kind of gives the history, how this song came about,
oh
and
yes,
something on the writer.
yes,
That's
indeed,
phenomenal because in most sheet
it is.
music, you don't get that.
No,
We
you
even got
don't.
a quote from Jeffrey LaValle about
Yes,
him, and
yeah,
then about Alvin Waddles, the
oh
transcriber.
yeah.
All right.
So you're talking about a musical dynasty, the Waddles family. So Brandon had his dad transcribe the music of Jeffrey LaValle's Almighty God,
Yes.
and that's big now. But I was at a Black History program. The Brazil Denard did this piece, Almighty God, arranged by, transcribed by Alvin. They did it. The accompaniment part was so strong. Uh, the place went from classical to gospel, and people were ready to shout
Yeah.
on that day. This was back during Black History Month. So just all of this people went away with. And so you had just a wide spectrum of people in the audience, from the learned to the unlearned, from the young to old. So there was something there truly for everybody. And in the words of the late, great Frank White, we had a table that everybody could eat from on that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
just wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and also, Dr. Abington, you remember he had his book there, the new edition of his book,
Oh,
and
yes.
also a CD of the compilation of hymns
Yeah.
that they had put together. Oh, it was a second to none
Yeah.
historical moment for me just
Yes,
to be in
indeed.
the room and
Yes,
to rub
indeed.
shoulders with all of these greats,
Oh,
these
yes.
minister people I had never met.
Oh, yeah.
And man, what? And thank you again for inviting me to share.
Oh,
People were walking
absolutely.
up to me afterwards that I didn't know. They knew who I
Yeah.
was, but I didn't know. And the fellowship and the atmosphere,
Yes.
it wasn't competitive.
No.
It was
No.
it was just an atmosphere of humility and love
Absolutely.
for gospel music
Yes.
as we all learn together, and the unity, and again, man, thank you for your leadership. Now we got to do what Jimmy said. We got to do a follow up some kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
way. Keep
Yes,
this movement
indeed.
going because Dr. LaQuint, you would appreciate this. We got to do something on that scale that will unify Detroit, just like that one day. I told them that one day wasn't enough for me.
Oh, yeah.
We
Yes,
need two or
indeed.
3 days to really
Yes,
absorb and to get and to share with the people musically. And like you said, it was truly ecumenical.
yes, it was. And
Ecumenical. So
and Bishop, if I could say this as you segue into the to the next segment with Dr. Weaver, I would just want to say and congratulations to him on just the phenomenal production uh, that he put on last Sunday. It was a great weekend for Detroit, and it was non-competitive. And I would say this to any young people who are putting together events: consider your brothers, because we are all brothers and sisters in this, in the vineyard here. When we were putting this together, we knew about Dr. Weaver's day on the 27th. So we want to make sure that we didn't compete. So we made sure it was on a different day, the day before, and early in the day. His was in the evening, this was in the daytime. So it was good consideration because I mean, I've seen some things in Detroit, and we got to get away from that where people have programs and knowing that people have scheduled these programs, and yet you're going to put your program right up against theirs to
Right.
be
That's
competitive.
right.
And we got to get away from that. And it was just a great weekend for Detroit to be able to come to a conference on Saturday and then go to that great smash hit production on Sunday. So it was a
Yeah.
great weekend for Detroit musically. And so young people, that's how you do it. Look out for one another. It's not a competition, but it's a fellowship one
Just
another. That's how
and
we
we,
do it in Detroit.
Dr. Clay Evans say we all fellas in the ship. Well,
That's it.
man,
That's how it's supposed to be anyway. That's supposed
and God bless you, Dr. James Abington. You know we're
to
gonna be calling you and looking forward. You know, and then one thing before we go, he mentioned uh, that you and I, along with Dr. Abington, we are the only ones left
Lord have mercy.
of that era of gospel at the symphony that
Yeah,
we did back in 1984. You know,
Lord have mercy.
JD's gone,
Yeah,
Dr. Nix is gone, Dr. Adams is gone,
yeah,
Dorgan is gone. We
yeah,
had the Unity Baptist Church Choir, St. James Choir,
yeah,
Hartford Jubilee Chorus, and the Donalvale Chorus.
yes, yeah,
All of them are
hmm
gone. Here you
yes,
are to work with Dorgan. Here I am and work with Dr. Nix, JD, and
yeah,
St. James. And there is Jimmy, who worked with
yeah,
Hartford. And of course, all of us kind of work
yeah,
in and out sometime
yeah,
with Reverend Donald Vales, whatever he called us.
yeah.
And
And LaQuint, of course, we know that
yeah, LaQuint,
Donald
the
Bell
voices
was
of
his
deliverance, and
mentor.
yeah,
Yes,
Yes. Yes, he
and we
was.
indeed.
got to talking.
Yeah,
LaQuint, man, we went to eat. We was at Sinbad's. We almost turned them tables over. We got
yeah.
to talking about Carol Cole. We
Oh
got
my.
to talking about all
Yeah,
of those that come, all the
yes,
direct. All, listen, Daryl Houston. We
yeah,
just start calling the roll, and we just had our moment, you know,
yes,
and
indeed.
we just thank God. So yes, yes, yes. So listen. Denard, you know, we got to get our heads together, get with Dr.
Oh yeah.
Winsett and whoever, and we're going to be doing something else. We're going to pull, I don't know how we're going to pull Dr. Weaver in because he's going to be on Broadway so much.
Oh, he's on his way. He's
We
on
going
his way.
we have to fly him in and fly him back
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
I'll be home.
Yeah. But let me say this about LaQuint. A lot of people, you were talking earlier. You said you didn't know that side about him. What was so phenomenal about LaQuint is in his liturgical part. His. Not only is he a phenomenal artist, gospel artist, but I mean his ability to choreograph. I mean he can dance as well as he can sing, you know, and direct. So I mean, a lot of people may remember a few years ago when he did a thing with Lauren Harper uh, at Music Hall, how he
Spare change.
choreographed that. Yeah, so I mean, so this is nothing new. I mean, a lot of people didn't know it, but I mean, I've known that about it for a while. That he's got it. I mean, all the way around, all the way around,
Yeah,
not just in
yeah,
one area. And again, we congratulate him and his production. And I mean, it's this is only the beginning for him and what he does. Because, like you say, we're gonna have to plan heavy for him because his date book is getting ready to, as they would say, overflow.
yeah. We speak it.
Yeah,
We speak it. Listen, thank you, man. Hang out with
yeah,
us if
my
you
pleasure.
can.
Yeah,
Dr. E. LaQuint Weaver,
Yes,
Biblical
sir.
Stories. Let me begin by saying I was, I was just overjoyed, overwhelmed. I don't know how many times I came to tears back there just to hear the songs and to watch some of the artists that I knew from being babies, like Darla and them, and then, cause I ain't watched them from being babies, but all of the trumpets, that I'm familiar with Nene and them, just all of them, Penny and all, and I don't want to go and start calling all the cats. I'm gonna let you do that. But
Okay.
Dr. Weaver, congratulations, my
Thank you.
brother, man. Phenomenal, awesome job. There are no adjectives in Webster's dictionary to describe the experience that I personally got. I'm so glad I had the opportunity to be there to witness this for myself and to see the excellence and the musicality and the arrangements, the original pieces. We done talked about that. I told LaQuint, you need to do a soundtrack, man. There's some other
Bishop Woods,
residual.
would you say that one more time? The producer, the executive producer is watching you all the way from Texas. What did you say we need to do?
Where's she at? Where
Her
they at?
name is Renee Hayes.
Renee, God bless your daughter. Listen, there need to be a soundtrack. There need to be some residual. Cause if I had the soundtrack, I'd have started rehearsing at the next rehearsal, getting some of these tunes out. And he need to get to Brandon Waddles or Stephen Key, Alvin Waddles, get all that music transcribed. It's worth the investment, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
Sheet music is coming back.
it
We
is.
are a test to that witness from
It
Saturday.
is.
But listen, man, tell us about biblical stories and this cast. And we talked earlier, and you gathered some of Detroit's finest ministry gifts, pastors for the narration and the musical team. I don't know who was your MD. I don't know who did what, but just give us an overview about what happened on Sunday at the Canton Village Theater. You said it. We're going to turn this Canton Village Theater into a church ground. We had church up in there. We just didn't have a lot of room to shout because
That's
folks
all.
scared.
No, we
Oh,
did, but if we'd have had it, it'd have been a stampede. Them folks wouldn't know what to do with us if we'd have turned y'all completely loose.
they
I know
didn't
they
know what to do
would
with us when they saw all us in that lobby.
have.
Scared.
All right. Well, first of all, Bishop Woods and also to Dr. McClary, I want to say to Detroit, if I may tell you all, I want to thank you. Thank you for supporting biblical stories in the manner in which you did. We sold completely out. And I understand listening to you, Dr. Woods, that there were people coming to the lobby still requesting for tickets. And I guess they had not received the information that we had completely sold out, maybe I'll say a week before the event came, but that was a blessing. But biblical stories was something that God, might I say it? I want to say it like this, but yeah, he did. He whooped me into it. And changed my life with a lot of things. Told me to do some things, come from among certain things, because he wanted to have personal time with me. And I started having dreams, Bishop. Um, and I couldn't get them. I saw the show, what you saw Sunday night, but I couldn't hear it. He would just let me see them. I could see everybody that was in the show, with the exception of Kimberly Kenny Green from out of Dallas, and Elijah. But I knew there was some things that was missing. And so prior to me getting it together, I went to the Rhythm of Gospel Awards and I saw Kim. And Kim, I was looking for something to go inside the first act. And she sung He's Got the Whole World in His Hands. And she wiped the place out down in Mobile, Alabama. So I went to her. I says, Kim, I was the stage manager. I say, can I get you to do such, such, such? She says, call me when you get home. I called her when she got home. She says, I'm down. I'm ready. And the last minute was Elijah Bell, who now was was the lead singer for Kevin Lemons and Higher Calling. He did Proclaim. So I needed a Daniel. And at the last minute, he came. I threw the song at him and that was it. And he came in. So the 26th of August, we presented it as an anniversary piece, only one half. And a lady by the name of Renee Hayes had came to a rehearsal. She's very god sister of Donna Carson. And so she came and she said to me, after being in rehearsal, the Lord has sent me here to do a work, and that is to help you with this. So you've heard that before from about a lot of people. Now, we're going to help you, going to help you. So honestly speaking, she's online. I didn't take it as to heart. I said, oh, here we go again, Lord. Somebody better tell me another one. So after she did it, we did the program and got such great reviews in August. She called the next day and said, have you finished Act 2? And I said, no. I said, I have it, but I haven't finished it. She said to me, I said, finish it right now. And let's call the place and book the date. So I had to get ready to call, get the date, which was April 27th. And we did it again. And God used me to finish it up. So it was one of a God thing, Bishop Woods. Nothing that I had planned. He planned. And so he said, I need you to go and get your soprano. So he picked in my head, I had a group, Biblical People, and a lot of people didn't know I had a group called Biblical People because they were actually in Birmingham, Alabama, and I used different people from different places to be a part of Biblical People. And he said, I want you to call this Biblical Stories Featuring Biblical People. So I called my goddaughter, Darla up. She says, okay. Donna was there. I called Ruth Sinclair. I called Coco. White. I called, I'm going to be leaving nobody out, my altos, Ursula Walker Brown. And then my tenors, there's Bobo, there's two Tonys, Tony Mackey, Tony White, Hashim Edwards, my godson, DJ Moy, my daughter LaQuinta, DeAndre Jenkins, Crystal Knowlton, and and Takita Walker, of course. And I said, okay, I got to do this. And they were looking at me crazy at first saying, what are you doing? We don't understand it. And so Eric Pruitt is our music director. And so I got it together and explained to them what I was trying to do. In the meantime, he had showed me the ministers. So I got Bishop Coletta Vaughn, Bishop Doris Scott, Evangelist Staffy Blakely. I got my godbrother, Elder Daniel Henderson from out of New Jersey, Bishop James A. Williams, my cousin, Pastor Frank J. Knowlton, and I had to get Pastor Robert D. Walker. And I needed someone to portray Jesus. And so I called Pastor Mark Holloway. And the first time we did it, the trumpets couldn't do it because they were out of town. Two of the girls couldn't get back in time. So I said, I'm just not going to do that part. I'll wait. And I waited. And when she gave me the clear to go, I called my cousin Renee, who's the lead singer for the Trumpets and Star. They said, give us the date. We're ready. We're ready. And that's how it happened. And so the Lord kept me up many nights doing research as he gave me each story. And then I went to each pastor and said, this is what I have. And they selected the story that they wanted to choose to narrate. And that's how we came up with Biblical Stories. And I choreographed it. I arranged the music. I wrote the music. One selection that everybody's having a fit on is called Mary, Mary. I didn't write it. My goddaddy, the one and only Rudolph V. Hawkins, wrote it, and it came from his Christmas album. And he said, you can have it, son. Go on and do something with it. Let me see what you can do. And so on the 25th of August, he was blown away to hear the musical abilities that Eric had touched and what I had did to the song. So it's a lot of music that's in there. Some things I wrote and some things I put up, as they say, I weaverized them, then I put my touch to them. And that's it. And of course, my babies that were there, my granddaughter, Peanut, and then there's Taser that was there, and little Josh, and the Jeremy. So those were my kids. I incorporated and put them in there and said, okay, let's go. And I choreographed many Mondays and Tuesdays. We were there at the church rehearsing.
Yeah, man, that Bishop Doris Scott. I
Yes.
thought we was getting ready to go to church for a moment. If if Pruitt had to just put her in her key, it'd have been over, y'all. And then Staffy Blakely, and man, it was awesome, man. I was sitting there. I'm glad nobody didn't take no picture of me sitting there with my mouth open, just in awe. Of course, my girls, they know I'm partial to them, Renee and them.
Them
That's my girl.
trumpets.
I want the world to know that Renee Reed Williams. That's my girl.
Okay.
Go tell your friends and the trumpets. I'm a fan. You know, I
A good
love their
one.
music. As a
Mhm.
kid, as a kid, I go back to the Pennington specials, and when Pennington was on the radio, we used to go down there, Bristol Bryan and all them, early in the morning before we went to church. We would go down there and be on this program. My grandfather would take us to some of these programs, and so I'm one of those kids that was exposed to quartet, to my deacons at our church when I was growing up at Neapolitan.
Yes.
They were. I'm trying to think his name. He was a part of the Heart Touchers, and Slim them used to come
In
by.
the morning echoes.
Yeah, listen, they used to come by Neapolitan every now and then, and because Sunday night would turn into after the preaching, people start coming 9, 10 o'clock. We turn into a late night musical
Yes,
where
sir.
everybody
I
would
remember
come.
those days. I remember them
You
were the
know,
good old days.
yeah, but I was just happy to see everybody. I saw Patty Pennington. She was there. I didn't get a chance to talk. There's a lot of people I get a chance to talk to, but
Okay.
I was sitting in a good spot where I can be nosy and see everybody.
Well, we wanted you to sit comfortably where you could enjoy it, and so
Oh
we
man, well
know
I did.
you had a good seat.
I appreciate the accommodations. And when Darla did her thing a cappella, I called her on her way home Sunday night and said, "Listen."
You had to call her.
I said, the police is at your house waiting to arrest you and put you in gospel music jail.
Li-
Because if they had paused and opened the doors of the church, I would have joined. And
she's
then I
she's on
called,
here right now. I know she on here listening to what you
yeah,
got to say.
and her and her mama was in the car. Then I called Renee and I said, listen, I don't know if Mary understood what you was trying to tell her. I said, but if I was Lazarus, I'd have got up too. I,
But I was like that in rehearsal. Rehearsals, Bishop, honestly turned out like that. I had to tell the cast, hey, you guys, if you got to shout, just let the lights go out. And then if somebody shouts as they bump, carry them off the stage in the darkness. We got to, we got to keep the show to moving. And it got
yeah,
like that a couple of times. And I'm the one told him not do it. And I got caught up on he decided to
well,
die. And they had
yeah,
to pull
yeah,
me off.
man. How can you when you continue talking about the name of Jesus?
Yes,
But
yes,
but
yes.
the people were overwhelmed, and like myself, who got to see it firsthand, and then a whole lot of people where I was sitting. I'm just was hearing the comments and the ohs and the ahs and the oohs, and my God, I mean, everybody was just really ecstatic at the production, and hats off to Eric and the team, the musicians, and everybody, the staff. It was just phenomenal.
Thank you.
And Mark Holloway, of course, he's just a stand-up guy. I love me some Mark
He's a
Holloway.
great pastor. Great
Very
pastor.
humble guy, and everybody that was in there, it was good. It was good. And well, what's next? What's next now?
Well, Miss Hayes just went home, and so there's Houston is what she's asking for. Patricia Patty, y'all call her, but she's my cousin,
Yeah.
so we don't call her Patty, we call her Trisha. So, which is Renee's baby sister. She happens to run the House of Blues in Las Vegas,
Right.
Nevada. And she came with some of her people to make a decision on what they were going to do. So when she last left out of here, she says, "No, I can't take you to the House of Blues. I've got to have something larger for this. This has to go to um, a theater." And so she's going to get back with us and let us know this week what the decision is and what's to happen. So I don't know. And some people are screaming and they're asking me to ask Miss Renee Hayes, can you just bring it back? Bring it back one more time. Can y'all go to the music hall? Y'all just bring it back because we don't want to miss it no more. Maybe y'all have outgrown Canton Theater. So we're just waiting. We're ready to receive what the Lord has to give us and ready to travel. So
LaQuint,
we
what did I tell you earlier? Repetition. God is a repetitious God.
yes, sir.
Ain't nothing new under the sun. When we wake up tomorrow, the sun gonna come out because He commands it to. It's gonna go down tonight because He command. It's on a time schedule, and when it's your time, when it's your season, the devil in hell can't stop what God got His hands on. So
I
man,
receive it.
listen, it's you just go with the flow and thank God for your obedience to yield. Cause I got upset with you when you come calling me talking about I'm gonna step away from this quiet thing for a minute. I'm saying, what's wrong with you? You
Thank you.
know. Now I understand for real. And cause I should know better, but some things like that happen with me. But I just want to congratulate you and encourage you. And man, they are in the comment section. I mean, like crazy. I saw Ruth. I see like Renee Hayes, Kim Kinney,
Yeah, Kim, that's your girl, the
Kenny
girl that
Green.
sung He
Yeah,
Decided to Die.
yeah, she was. Listen, and of course my sweetheart Donna. All y'all my sweethearts, but Renee my favorite. I'm sorry, but you know, I know
Renee,
she gonna kill me when she called
she
me.
gonna kill you.
That's all right. I'm willing to die.
Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh
and
Lord.
and if I die, all she gotta do is sing like she did, Sunday night.
Man, she sung, those girls sung Mary, Don't You Weep.
Yeah, yeah. It was
And
phenomenal.
Amir Ray, Minister Amir Ray was the one that played Lazarus. And
Yeah.
it was just something to say. I do want to tell Kim, Kenny Green, and the Untouchable Trumpets, and Elijah, and also and Ruth, the sons
Ruth St. Clair.
and he never said a mumbling word. I mean, everybody, Ursula, oh, it is Jesus. People ask him, well, who is that? That's Ursula Walker Brown. And everybody's saying to my little peanut, they say she was the first one to throw her brick at Jesus. And you say she came
Yeah.
out throwing her brick at Jesus. Come on, I don't like you, but I thought she wasn't gonna say it, but she did say it. So I'm proud of all of my kids. I'm not. It's so many to thank. Of course, Darla's my goddaughter. I love her, and my boys. I have to say, my boys. They really did a tremendous job with me doing the Last Supper. It was everything. Bobo's my boy. Him and Hashim, they do a great job. So everybody, Tony White, Tony, Mackey, just thank my cast. I thank y'all. Really, I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Background singers, in front singers. Eric, definitely. Thank you so much, so much, so much. Lorenzo Lala, thank you.
Oh
Carlos
yeah,
Gunn,
Riz. He
yeah,
came back there and talked to me when I got in.
did he?
So good. I hadn't seen him in a while.
You haven't seen Lorenzo in a while.
I
Yeah,
hadn't
he,
seen
he, he
him. Yeah.
normally travels doing a lot of plays himself. But most of all, I want to tell that lady by the name of Miss Renee Hayes, ma'am, I thank you. I thank you. I
Yeah.
thank you. I thank you. I thank you. She invested in us, and she said the Lord says until He says so, she has to push it until the world sees it. She wants the world to see it. So we're on our way to go. We're ready to
Thank
go.
you. Listen, why I got both of y'all on here, you know, I look at this weekend as a testament to what God wants to do to restore Detroit as again a force or a sample or an example to the world when it comes to sacred music, gospel music, as only he's given it to us because Detroit, we stand on the shoulders of so much greatness, so many legends, until I just believe it's no coincidence that Denard is on here
Yeah.
from Legacy, working with so many musicians, namely Dr. Dorgan Needham. I'm on here working with so many legends, and from the Reverend James Cleveland, the Craig brothers, and Corliers, and St. James, and then my own group. And Don got his own group, Detroit Metro, and then you're on here. We're of that old school. We've got the best of both worlds.
We do.
We've got the then and the now. And I'm like, what would it be like? And I know I'm not dreaming because I just saw what God did in you. What would it be like if we all were at the same table, along with some others, to bring something to the city that would bring a revival? And Saturday, as Denard was saying, gave us a kind of a foretaste of
Wow.
that ecumenical gathering. And the same thing with your play. There was all kind of people at that play.
Hmm.
Biblical story. I mean, I don't know who was on there was a whole bus out there.
That was from Toledo, Ohio. Mr. Ronnie Lindsay, who played Judas. Um, he's the minister of music there. I can't remember the name of the church. He's a musician. He's a member of Ricky Dillon and New G, and he and Darla both sing with Ricky.
Yeah.
And he his people came from. That was a bus, and he had three other SUVs that trailed to come up. So he bought like 60 or 70 tickets.
Wow. Wow. That was phenomenal. And
Yes,
then I
Pete.
was looking at, I thought, when I was coming in, I saw these little ladies, and they were from the other persuasion, little, Caucasian people, the other folk,
Yes.
and I said, well, where they going? Shoot, they followed me.
They,
They was well, where you going? I'm going in here. Well, we going in here too, man. And I sat around some of them. We had about, and one lady said, "Oh my goodness, they're gonna kill Jesus." What,
she said,
man? They had. I was between crying and laughing, sitting back there with that crew, but they were there,
yeah,
and they was turning red and getting excited. But they enjoyed every second of that production. It was awesome, man. So again, you to be commended. All of you all that's in the comment section, I ain't gonna start calling names again, but y'all see y'all name there. God bless all of you. I see Bishop James Williams there. Bless you, man.
yeah,
And
that's
all of
my
you
spiritual
pastors.
advisor. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
I forgot. And my pastor, Pastor Isaiah Petway, was one of the ministers as well. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
can I
yeah.
say this? I want to thank my pastor and Sister Pamela Petway. They opened the doors of the church. They didn't give us a time limit or anything for us to rehearse. To my church, my pastor, Pastor Isaiah Petway, and Beth Eaton Baptist Church, I love you, and so do biblical people, for just opening the doors for us to, get our rehearsals in to do as we saw fit. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Listen, Ruth says that there were people from Philly, from New
They, oh,
York.
they
They came from everywhere.
they
Mm.
did.
Yeah, yeah. I believe it because they were there. They were
But
there.
that's right, because my brother was here from from Birmingham, Alabama. My brother is the pastor of Ricky Smiley. So, which I grew up with Ricky when I was a little boy anyway. My brother's been pastoring. It'll be his 50th year in
Yeah.
pastoring. And so he flew in. He missed the first time. And so he flew in this time. And and that's strange because my brother never gave me the last thing that he said to me when he got out the car was, "I'll talk to you later on this week." And he just looked at me and says, I couldn't do nothing but shake my head and hear my mother say to him, "Watch the baby. Just watch the baby. Just watch him. You know, pray over him. Pray over your baby brother." And he just told me, he said, "You a genius." And he just closed the door and went on to the airport. And I'm still, I'm puzzled by that. I'm like, what is he gonna say to me? You know, but I know he's gonna have something to say, and it'll be positive like you. But this morning, when you talk to me, you don't know what it feels like, Bishop Woods, to hear the compliments to come from somebody like you that I have looked up to in my young years. Watching you play for various choirs and even with Donald, when I was a part of Donaldville's Voices of Deliverance, and seeing and coming over there on Mac when your grandfather was there to watch you. So I've had a history of it because all the penitent specials was either aunties or my sister. My sister Ruby was in there. So I mean, I grew up, me and Renee, we grew up together in this, and this music thing has been in me for years, but it took now for him to just take me and take me here. And when you said to me, "You showed me another side of you I didn't know," I'm like, oh, you know, really? I didn't know. I didn't know. So thank you. Thank you for the music that you presented to me that give me inspiration. Thank you for the writing that you do that I can look to, be inspired from, and now I'm standing on your shoulders too. So I appreciate you, man.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Well, one of my dreams, we were talking Saturday after the uh, the workshop. Dr. Abington and Denard and myself, the three of us sat at Sinbad's and talked about what to do now, and Jimmy was just so overwhelmed to be back in Detroit to hear that Detroit sound and music. And but my dream is even when the inception, when Dorgan was living and all them, Herman Harris and I don't even want to start calling their names,
The list will get long.
Oh man, uh, uh, to bring Detroit back to what we grew up with, what we knew, and and I'm praying that I'm gonna get with Denard and we'll be calling you and tagging others that we need to pull something together, and it don't cost nobody nothing to compliment them. It don't cost nobody nothing, like Denard said, and I appreciate him for saying what he said. And I hope y'all go back and play this and get that section or that segment when he said, in respect to Dr. Weaver and his production, they did not want to bump heads. They put theirs on another date so that they can support. Because I guarantee you, like myself and others who were there Saturday, we were there Sunday night,
Exactly.
you know, with no
Thank you.
problem. And that's what I'm talking about. I don't like this competition thing and all this other stuff. But somehow we gonna put something together, and
We
we're gonna
can.
invite the musicians of all ages, and like we saw Saturday. I see us standing in front of a 800,000 voice choir
Wow.
ecumenically. You know, we might need to go to Little Caesars
We
or Rick
may.
and do some kind of pre. I don't know what the Lord gonna do with this, but uh, He might give us the vision, but we got to walk it out. We got to
That's
make it
right.
happen.
That's
Okay.
right.
Oh man, I appreciate you,
I
and we
appreciate
just
you.
believe God's blessings are going before you to open up doors. And there's a scripture I always use that's been blessing me. Psalms 90:17, and let the beauty of the Lord our God be upon you. I'm talking to you and Denard and myself. Be
Thank you.
upon you and establish the work of your hands. Yea, the work of thy hands establish thou it. Which simply means that God has already preference that whatever your hands touch,
Hallelujah.
he'll cause it to prosper.
Yes, God. Yes,
I'm
God.
just crazy enough to believe that our
Yes,
latter
God.
days are gonna be our best days.
Yes, God.
Yeah, yeah. I just believe that. I just
Oh, I
believe
believe
it
it. Yes, God.
that the
Yes.
latter is greater than the former.
Yeah.
Denard, you've paid your dues.
Yes, God.
LaQuint, you've paid your dues. When people look at you like Carolyn Trailer say, you don't know my story. There's a story behind my
And
praise.
my praise. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they see your glory now,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't see how many times you went in your pocket to keep hallelujah uh, uh, going and doing all the churches you work with.
That's
I
true.
remember you in Carroll at Palestine,
We's
and
at Palace. That's right.
Mhm.
remember
That's
you at
right.
Obedient Baptist.
Yeah.
I mean, we can just go down the line and Denard, the churches that he's blessed,
Yes, yes,
with his
yes.
gift. So, we're not novice,
No.
and we're not going to let the devil cheat us out of what is due us in this hour. And that's
Yes.
why I say to all you young musicians, I hope y'all view this. And here's another thing that both of you, I seen both of you all do this, and I applaud you for it, that you also merge the generation gap. You close it by inviting people of all ages to participate, whether it's musicians or singers, and that's a plus. So I don't want to hear these musicians and singers talking about we leaving them out. No, you just got to come. And here is the catch that my mentors told me about. Stop crying about opportunity. Just be ready when it comes.
Wow.
You just
Wow.
study. You just prepare. Practice. Be ready
Yeah.
because it's coming.
That's right.
Mhm.
But will you be ready
When it comes.
when it comes? All right? Y'all take that home and gnaw on that this week. You want God to do something, open up a door for you. Why should he open the door for you? You not ready.
Wow.
The Bible said that I have not seen nor heard the good thing that God has prepared, past tense. So God ain't got to get my miracle ready. He got to get me ready for my miracle.
That's
Amen.
And that's what you went through, LaQuint. And look at the results
yes,
of
sir.
your
Yes, sir.
praying, your fasting, your
Yes.
obedience. Look
Yeah.
at you. And I'm so excited about Denard because for his
Yes.
name to be at the top of the list. See, God will take you from the bottom.
Take you to the top.
They talk about me because I'm gonna spiritualize it. I'm gonna make a sermon out of it. Listen, when they wasn't calling his name, now his name is first on the list.
wow.
You hear me what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I we got it. We got not only did they call it, we got it in print.
Wow. That's what's up.
Denard
That's what's
McClary,
happening.
conference general chairperson. You know, and a lot of people might be thinking, well, I could have did that. No, you couldn't have did what he did because y'all don't have that kind of spirit to be open and to be humble with it. Oh, so I can go on for another hour. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Denard. Congratulations,
Yes.
Dr. Weaver. We are looking to hear great things in the next few months of what's going on with biblical stories.
Thank you.
And we're
We
also
accept.
looking, Denard, we're going to find something to do
Oh yeah.
when we get together and put our heads together and come up
Oh
with,
yeah.
in Dorgan's memory, a hymn sing or
Oh yeah.
some kind of
Mhm.
gospel concert where we can all come together. So thank God. Thank all of you for joining. Darla, I see you. Darla Spinner, she's in there.
She in there.
Coco Lachelle.
Yeah, she was in the upper room.
Yeah, oh, Coco. So this has been a blessing. Star Trees, yeah. They in the comment section. Tony White.
Yeah. Tony White was one of my that operatic voice that you heard in the in when they were
Yeah,
in
I remember Tony.
yeah, that strong operatic. They talking with Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's Tony White.
Renee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
she's there.
Hmm.
Donna Carson, of course.
There's Donna there.
That's my old Allegro baby.
Oh, Donna was with you. Had Donna in the Legros.
Yeah. Yvonne
Wow,
Denise Scott.
wow. Sissy Renee Hayes is popping in. She's still popping in. Okay, I hope you heard everything, Renee. This the captain of the ship in Detroit with gospel. He telling us what we got to
Yeah.
do. So you
Yeah.
let me know when I got to go in so I can call the boss because he said we need to have a soundtrack. All right.
Yeah. Takita Walker.
Yeah, that's Ram Walker's daughter that was with.
Right,
He's
right.
in the play.
All
Uh-huh.
right, all right. We ain't gonna call no more name call. We'll be here
Hey,
calling
Tony. Mackie. Yeah.
calling the roll.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're gonna be doing some more things with Spotlight on Music. Listen, uh, hit the notification bell, Fellowship of Music and Arts, and follow us. Become a member. It don't cost you nothing. Uh, and if you got something going on, send it to us. We don't mind posting your advertisement or your announcement. And then go to our YouTube channel, Fellowship of Music and Arts, and subscribe. This is going to be on YouTube. You can go back. Of course, it'll repeat later on after a little while. God bless you all, and thank
Bless
you
you.
all for sharing your Tuesday evening with your boy. And I'm so elated to have my brothers on here with me. And
Yes.
we just pray that everybody's going to have a blessed and prosperous week the
Yes.
rest of this week.
Yep.
God bless you. Denard, we'll talk.
All right. Take care.
LaQuint,
All
God bless
right.
you all.
Bless you, Bishop.
Right, LaQuint. Take care now.
Take care.
You
Yes,
too.
sir. Blessings.